Okay, so the pipeline in PowerShell you can think of it as just passing data or accepting data. The default for a commandlet, like get child item, for example, the default output is to output the data to the screen, output it to the host, output it so that you can see it. That is the default behavior for pretty much every single thing. Like get date, outputs it to the screen. So what the pipeline does is it takes that output. It says, you're basically saying, I don't want the default behavior, I want to take that data and I want to start using it in a different way. So this is, the pipeline is where you start getting into scripting territory, but also just for simple commands you can do things like, as an example, what I've done here is I've said get child item, which is that. I've said pipe it. I've said what I want to do is use the commandlet select object. Select object says, okay, I am able to receive from a pipeline, and remember the default output for a commandlet pretty much is always going to be the host. So what happens after this pipeline is we've got a new commandlet, so the default for this will be output to host. I could put in stuff like property name, and the default output, as we've seen before, is the screen. I could choose to say, instead of put that to the screen, I can pipe it again. I can choose to work with that output a different way. I could do something like sort object. Okay, the default output for sort object is the screen, is the console. So pipeline is just really there to pass that data, to change that default output, pass the data through, and allow you to use that data and manipulate that data in some way. The first place I would start with when trying to understand and get used to this pipeline is a few select commandlets. The ones I've just shown you, select object, or select for short, is a great way to filter out information. You don't want the output of all data, you want to select a particular property. Select, excellent, okay? Then you can do something like output that to a file. These two arrows, you may be familiar, that's the format of outing data to a file and from the command prompt days, and we can use that here. It will accept it. Let's put that into a file. Last write time document.txt. Now if I put in dir, get child item, I'll see that file is there. Let's have a look at it. Tab. Okay, so what we did, get the data. Okay, instead of outputting to the screen, we're piping it, and then what we're going to do with that data is we're going to select all the values of property last write time. Then we're going to work with it again. Instead of outputting that to the screen, we're outputting that into a file. And I'm using the old method there. I'll show you a new method, the out file. Taking that back, pipe again. We want to work with that a different way. We want to use out file, and I will out file version.txt. It's essentially the same. If I put dir in, same as get child item, I'll see that that out file version.txt file is there as well. Let's open that up. Cool. Okay. Very simple explanation of the pipeline, but to actually start using it, to get familiar with it, I suggest using that select. Using sort, that's another one. Sort is a great way to obviously sort the data in a particular way before you do something with it. Before you, usually you'll be outputting the file, outputting the data into a file. So sort, you can see there, it's sorted, I would say, by name. You can choose to sort. Remember, sort is actually the commandlet sort object, and that comes back to sort being an alias. You can sort the object in different ways. You could sort by property, length, and we'll see here that default output has changed. So what we've done is we've piped that default output, we've chosen to work with it using sort object, and sort object's default output is essentially that. And then we could choose to pipe that again into something like out file. Now there's a lot more commandlets that you could be using and piping things through, and functions, etc. But it's just to get used to the behavior. It's these commandlets are great to start out with. Yeah, so any questions, let me know.